The sound that woke me wasn't the ocean. It was my phone buzzing once, stopping, then buzzing again like it was afraid of what it had to say. My name is Miriam. I'm 32. When does family stop meaning love and start meaning permission to erase you? The hotel room smelled like detergent and old air conditioning. My suitcase sat open on the chair, one sandal on the floor like it had given up first. I reached for my phone. A missed call. Then another. Then a message from my worker sent too carefully. Madam, the shop sign is different. I sat up slowly, the way you do when your body knows something your mind hasn't caught yet. I opened the photo he sent. My shop, my narrow little corner store I'd built shelf by shelf, was still there. Same chipped tiles. Same front window. But my name was gone. In its place, my sister's. New lettering. Too confident. Like it had always belonged there. I called home. My mother answered on the second ring, chewing something. Oh, she said lightly as if talking about weather. I gave your shop keys to your sister. She'll run it while you're away. Keys. The word landed heavier than it should have. I thought of them in her hand. The familiar weight. The soft scrape they made when they slid into the lock. My lock. She needed work, my mom continued. And you're on vacation. In the background I heard my father laugh. Not unkindly. Worse. Comfortably. You're never here anyway, he said. Let family handle it. I looked again at the photo. My office chair. My chair had been pushed to the side like it was waiting for permission to leave. And in that quiet hotel room with the ocean still pretending nothing had happened, I understood something clearly for the first time. They hadn't borrowed my shop. They had already decided I was done. The chair stayed in my mind longer than the sign. I lay back against the stiff hotel pillow, staring at the ceiling fan as it clicked unevenly, one blade slightly bent, insisting on being noticed. My phone rested on my chest, warm from my hand, silent now. Silence can be louder than shouting if you let it. I zoomed into the photo my worker sent. New shelves along the left wall. Cleaner than mine. Expensive. My sister's handwriting on a small paper sign near the counter. Opening offer. She'd always had prettier handwriting. Teachers used to praise her for it while telling me to slow down. Another message came in. She moved your files, madam. Said she needs the desk. The desk. The drawer that stuck unless you lifted it just right. The one where I kept permits folded too many times, receipts organized by years, and the spare key taped inside an old envelope marked emergency. Called my sister. Rang until it didn't. Then my mother again. No answer. I imagined them at the shop. My sister standing where I used to stand, my father leaning against the counter, arms crossed, proud in that lazy way. I could almost hear it. She's finally settled, someone would say. See? This suits her better. I rolled onto my side. Outside, a child laughed near the pool. Someone dragged a chair across concrete. Life continued aggressively. I opened my notes app and typed nothing. Just watched the cursor blink like it was waiting for permission. Then I remembered the mirror above my shop's sink. Slightly cracked at the corner. I kept it anyway. It showed things honestly even when you didn't like the angle. I stood up, walked to the window and pressed my forehead to the glass. I wasn't angry yet. I was clear. And clarity is dangerous. Clarity doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives quietly, like someone turning on a light in a room you've been living in the dark. I sat at the small hotel desk and opened my email. The chair here didn't wobble. That annoyed me more than it should have. I logged into the shop's account. Same password I'd used for years, the one my sister never remembered because she said numbers made her anxious. There it was. A login from 2 hours ago. A new device. I didn't change the password yet. Not out of mercy. Out of patience. Instead, I called the shop's supplier. He answered on the first ring, voice brisk, already in work mode. Your sister called, he said before I could speak. Wanted to renegotiate prices. Said you were stepping back. Stepping back. I'm not, I said calmly. Please note that. There was a pause. Paper shuffling. Ah, he replied. Then this is awkward. It will be, I said. Soon. I hung up and stared at my reflection in the dark laptop screen. My face looked flatter here, like it had been waiting for better lighting. I touched the small scar near my eyebrow, an old one from lifting a shelf alone because no one else had time. A message finally came through. My sister. Relax. I'm just helping. Mom said it was fine. Helping had always been her favorite word. It let her take without admitting it. I typed back slowly. Don't change anything. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Why are you being dramatic? I closed the chat. In the bathroom I turned on the light and looked into the mirror above the sink. Clean. Whole. Too kind. Not like the cracked one at the shop that never lied to me. I leaned closer to my reflection and whispered, okay. Not to her. To myself. Because somewhere between the new shelves and my chair being moved aside, a line had been crossed. Not loudly. Not officially. But permanently. Night settled into the hotel room like it had nowhere else to go. I didn't turn on the lights. The glow from the city outside pressed thin lines across the floor, stopping just short of my feet. My phone vibrated again. This time it was my father. You should be grateful, he said when I answered. No greeting. Just that. Your sister finally has responsibility. I pictured him saying it from behind the counter, leaning where I used to stand 12 hours a day. His hand probably resting on the glass display, smudging it without noticing. She moved my permits, I said. That's illegal. He scoffed. Always so technical. That word again, technical. The same one he used when I registered the shop in my own name. When I insisted on receipts. When I refused to let family discounts eat the profit. After the call ended, I sat on the edge of the bed and listened to the hum of the mini fridge. Sounded like breathing. Slow. Patient. I opened the secure folder on my phone. Photos. Documents. Lease agreement. License scans. Bank statements. Everything I'd learned to keep because no one else remembered things for me. There was a message from my worker. Madam, she removed your cash box. Put her own. I imagined it. The old metal box I'd dented years ago slipping out of place, replaced by something shinier. My fingers curled into the hotel blanket, feeling its cheap texture. Too smooth. Too temporary. I made the call then. Just one. Quiet. Professional. 10 minutes later my phone began to ring. And ring. And ring. I didn't answer. The first voicemail came from my mother. Miriam, pick up. This is getting unnecessary. Her voice sounded smaller than usual, like it had lost its furniture. Then my sister. Breathing uneven. Words stacked on top of each other. They're here, she said. Why are they here? They didn't need a name. The sound in the background did that for her. Papers being flipped, a chair dragged back, someone clearing their throat with purpose. I finally answered on the 5th call. What did you do? My sister asked, already crying. They said the license isn't in my name. They said the cash box. They said the truth, I replied. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Even through the phone it pressed. My father came on next, voice sharp now. No laughter left in it. Why would you call them without telling us? I looked around the hotel room. The open suitcase. The bent fan blade. Everything's still exactly where I'd left it. Because, I said, it's my shop. The words felt strange in my mouth. Not angry. Not proud. Just factual. Like stating the time. My mother interrupted, whispering urgently. You've embarrassed us. I almost laughed at that. Almost. Instead I closed my eyes and imagined the cracked mirror above the shop sink. How it split my reflection into pieces but never hit any of them. I didn't embarrass you, I said softly. You did that yourselves. My sister sobbed again. Someone in the background told her to sit down. I ended the call before anyone could apologize. Outside my window the city lights flickered like they were reconsidering their loyalties. And for the first time since the sign came down I slept. Morning arrived without apology. I woke to the sound of carts rolling in the hallway, someone laughing too loudly, keys clinking, ordinary noises that felt staged, like life reminding me it could continue without permission. My phone lay face down on the nightstand. I let it stay that way. When I finally checked it there were messages. Not frantic now. Careful. My uncle. A misunderstanding, he wrote. A cousin. You know how your sister is. Sensitive. No one asked how I was. I showered slowly, letting the water run hot enough to fog the mirror. For a moment my reflection disappeared completely. It felt tempting to stay unseen. Then the steam thinned and there I was again. Split slightly by the edge of the glass but present. At the shop I knew the atmosphere had changed. The inspection hadn't shut it down. That would have been dramatic. Instead they'd left notes. Deadlines. Requirements. The kind of things that make people nervous when they don't know where the paperwork lives. My worker texted once more. She's sitting outside now. Won't come in. I imagined my sister on the step, arms wrapped around herself, staring at the door like it might judge her. The shop had always sounded different when it was closed. Too quiet. Like it was holding its breath. I forwarded one final email from my own account to the family group chat. Polite. Attached documents. Clear boundaries. All decisions regarding the shop will go through me. No accusations. No explanations. The replies stopped after that. Silence settled in, not heavy this time. Clean. Earned. And somewhere between the folded towels and the muted television, I felt something loosen inside me. Not forgiveness. Control. I checked out of the hotel at noon. The receptionist asked if I'd enjoyed my stay. I nodded, because enjoyment is a complicated word and I didn't feel like teaching it to anyone. Outside the air smelled like dust and traffic, real again. Grounded. On the ride home my phone stayed quiet. That silence felt intentional now. Chosen. When I unlocked the shop door hours later, the bell rang the way it always had. Soft. Familiar. Like it recognized me. The shelves were still new, but they didn't feel hostile anymore. Just misplaced confidence. My sister wasn't there. Neither were my parents. Only my worker stood near the counter, hands folded, unsure whether to smile. I kept your chair, he said, pointing to the back. I walked into my office. The chair was where I'd left it before the vacation. Slightly angled, one wheel stubborn. I ran my hand along the desk, feeling the grooves my elbows had made over time. Touch tells the truth faster than words. I opened the drawer. Permits. Receipts. The emergency envelope. All still there. Above the sink, the cracked mirror caught my reflection. The line through it cut my face in half, but I didn't look away this time. I looked steady. Older somehow. Quieter. My phone buzzed once. A message from my mother. We should talk. I set the phone face down on the desk. Outside, someone knocked on the glass, asking if we were open. I straightened the sign, turned the lock, and nodded to my worker. Yes, I said. We are. And for the first time I didn't feel like I was defending something. I was simply standing in it. We never did have that talk my mother asked for. Days passed. Then weeks. Conversations rerouted themselves around the shop like it was a fragile subject, likely to crack if touched wrong. My sister found work elsewhere. Something temporary. Something less stressful. According to family updates I didn't reply to. Stress is an interesting word. It's often used to describe the feeling of being denied what you assumed was yours. The shop settled back into its rhythm. Morning deliveries. Afternoon quiet. The bell, the counter, the soft argument between the radio and the street noise outside. I removed the new sign and put my old one back up. Not because it was better, but because it was honest. One evening after closing I stayed behind and cleaned the sink. The cracked mirror reflected me in fragments, but I didn't try to line them up. I finally understood that being whole doesn't mean being unbroken. It means knowing which pieces are yours. A voicemail came in while I wiped the counter. It was my father. His voice was slower now. Careful. You know, he said, we thought you'd fight harder. I smiled at that. Just a little. I didn't call back. Because I had fought, just not loudly. Not the way they expected. I fought by keeping records. By staying calm. By letting systems speak where emotions failed. The chair in my office no longer felt like it was waiting. It belonged. I locked up, turned off the lights, and caught my reflection one last time in the glass door. Clear. Undivided. Some things don't need revenge. They need ownership.